day I'm hustling, 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 hustling,
It's your
hustling,
boy,
hustling,
Ski.
hustling, 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 hustling.
Oh, welcome back to the Matrix. You're not just in the Matrix, you are the Matrix. How's it feel, Neo? And today we got ourselves a banger daily market news analysis. What is up? What is up? How's everyone feeling out of 10? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you guys are spamming that like button, hitting that share so other people can spam that like button. Let's get this party started, y'all. What is up? Hi, Ski. Yo. What's going on? J.O., how you doing? 4 out of 10, bro. Alex says we're cooked. Sell all. Sell all what? Stock market? I've been saying that crypto, Bitcoin, silver is going to outperform gold, is going to vastly outperform the stock market over the next 10 years. Crypto, I don't think so. I strongly disagree. We're literally tomorrow. It looks like tomorrow we're going to get a death cross. We went over this. We went over this ad nauseum, and quietly, guys, quietly, Bitcoin, others, total 2, total 3, every chart you want to name, pretty much, is very quietly holding higher lows as the stock market is getting walloped right now. Absolutely just wally-mopped right now. Why is that? Why is the stock market just getting crushed? Or at least it did on Friday. It's not open right now. Why is it getting crushed as Bitcoin, others, total 2, total 3, and others, which is all the top 10 coins? Why is it not? Why is it holding the higher lows here? Let me get the Dow Jones here. Oops. Why is that happening? I mean, look at that sell-off. Massive. All the way back down to the 2022 lows. One of the biggest sell-offs that we've had. Huge gap in the market now, by the way, on the Dow Jones. In my opinion, why that happened. So let's see, what is this exact move here? Man, that is massive. So 10% in the Dow Jones. We're not talking a shitcoin. We're talking the Dow Jones. We're not talking, Elon Nutsack coin. We're talking the Dow Jones. Down 10% in a single day. Insanity. And quietly, super quietly, no one's talking about it. No one. Crypto, total 2, total 3, others are holding their higher low structure. Pretty convenient. 2 days. 2 days what? Target are low because interest rates still high. Big risk. Flacked, bleeding. Meaning to the shirt, Ski. I like SpongeBob. I think it's a funny shirt. That's the meaning. Here's the shirt on YouTube. All right, I'm going to head out. That's the meaning. Alex is the only bear I see right now, LOL. That's cap. Bro, let me know another bull. I'm not a bull. I'm not a bull or a bear, but let me know of another bull. I don't know any bulls right now. You don't find bulls when there's blood on the streets. You on YouTube? I am on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube right now. At your boy Ski. YABOYSKEY. Bro, no hate. But Alex is bearish again today. He's really flaky. He changes his mind every day. Way too emotional. That's okay. I don't take it as hate. Will Bitcoin hold the flight to safety? Narrative Ski. What are you asking me? Are you asking me if Bitcoin... Listen, I think that Bitcoin has bottomed. I've been saying that for a while now. I think that Bitcoin has bottomed. And this is very quiet, very, very quiet, that it's holding the higher low structure and it's about to get a death cross. And we talked about the death cross ad nauseum. But it's not what you think it is. The death cross, there's been 8 times. 30-day local bottom, 7 of 8 times was in already. 7 of 8, it did a 40% move within 30 days. 5 of 8, it did a 1x move within 30 days. A death cross is not what you think it is. It's not what it's presented to you as. So we're about to get that. And I think I think we're going to be, listen, I think that it's going to be 8 of 9. A local bottom was in. I think it's going to be 6 of 8 or 6 of 9. It's going to do a 1x move in the next 90 days. That's what I think. That's my prediction for crypto. I am extremely bullish right now. And if you don't know what the death cross is, I don't want to insult anyone's intelligence, but essentially it's the 50 moving average crosses the 200 moving average. It's called a death cross. The golden cross is the other way around. Last time there was a death cross, my damn grandma died. Damn. What up, G? Will Bitcoin hold? Yeah. Seeing what's going on in the stock market with the liquidity leaving, what percentage of that you believe will flow into Bitcoin and crypto? I think a decent bit, because what is the Dow Jones in the stock market? This Dow Jones in the stock market mostly is American stocks, but Bitcoin is not an American coin. There's an American narrative, right? But realistically, crypto is international. Web Bull. Spam the like button, guys. Hit the share so other people can spam the like button. Link or ADA? Ooh. What time frame? What time frame, Kevin? Let me know, how long. How long am I holding those? By June 1st, would you say over $3.6 trillion total market cap? Okay. Let me think about this. Okay, so are you saying at any point in time total market cap being over 3.6 trillion before June 1st? Is that what you're saying? Or are you saying on June 1st the total market cap must be 3.6 trillion over or under? Because those could be different answers. You know what I'm saying? So if you're saying, and that's just barely a new all-time high. Yeah, I'm going to say over. I think I think it's certainly by the end of May, I think 3.6 trillion. Yeah, I think we're going to be over that. But by June, we might start to get into that boringness. But if you're asking me anytime before June 1st, I think that strong likelihood of over or on. I think on. What would be, let me pull a Fibonacci on this real quick. So that'd be an all-time high. Well, it'd be shy of an all-time high. It would basically be at the 702, a little bit above the 702. It'd be at the 888. Wow. That's a big level. I'm going to say over. I think a strong chance of being over. If not over, it's going to be at least at the 3.26. My bear case by June is going to be 3.26 trillion. And then that would be medium case. That would be medium case. Cool. I'm on Hopium, but Bitcoin doesn't seem impossible. You're on Hopium, but Bitcoin doesn't seem impossible. TikTok is down. Are you sure? Crypto trend. Are we down on TikTok? Are we good on TikTok? I see people joining. Did it freeze? I don't see anybody commenting. I just see people joining. Somebody comment something. Say what's up. Say hi on TikTok. Say hi on TikTok so I know that we're good. I see. Huh. It's down, huh? I don't know. It's frozen. It wasn't working. I came here. Interesting. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me try to. Let me turn off all my other apps. 1 second. My God. Jesus. Oh, whoops. All right. I definitely just ended it on accident. I did not mean to do that. Resume. All right. Hopefully that fixed the issue there. Not working. Wow. Pause. Okay, there we go. Are we good now? It says Skis Live is paused. Well, don't worry about it. Just stay on YouTube anyways. Better viewing experience. We should be good now though. So I know that we're good. Hi on TikTok. Short term end of the year, linker ADA. Frozen. Are we still frozen? Are we good? Visual but no sound. Really? Should be. Is there sound on all good? Good? Okay. They're saying we're good on TikTok. When is Sonic Marketing going to start? We're doing a podcast with them in a couple of weeks. 13 days. I can hear you and see you. All right, great. Good now. Sweet. What did I miss? Damn it, TikTok. You didn't miss too much. I was saying Bitcoin to 250K isn't impossible, but that's me being hopeful. I don't think it's likely. So my bull target for Bitcoin is 207. I'm not mad at a 250 target, but my bull case scenario is 207. All good. What about ILV? I don't love ILV. There's too much inflation. Where is Patrick? No, this is Patrick. Oh, shit. The inner echinations of my mind are an enigma. ILV is awful coin, highly inflationary. I think it goes to $8. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of ILV. Sound on YouTube. What up, Ski? When Sonic Marketing will start? I think I already answered that. Yeah, I think I already answered that. Yeah, if you're watching on TikTok, the best viewing experience is on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube right now. What do you think of Bitcoin Cash? I think Bitcoin Cash generally leads the market. Let's pull up Bitcoin Cash. I'm not sure this current moment in time. So I got its market cap up right now. XRP on the 1 hour is bullish. I mean, crypto in general, I think, is holding super strong compared to the stock market right now. Bitcoin Cash looks really good. So I'm looking at the market cap. This is looking very strong to me. Accumulation, sign of strength, backtest of the prior range, reaccumulation, trading on top of lots of support here. What else do we got? So we're about to have a cross to the upside on the RSI on the daily. I think it looks pretty good. So the full retracement move for Bitcoin Cash is about a 3x, 2.5x. So that's pretty good. And then full parabolic move is about a 10x. Flux still possible, $3 to $5. Yes, I believe so. Thoughts on Telcoin and ZBAC? I like ZBAC. Chart looks pretty good to me. That's what I All right, but before we started getting technical difficulties, let's get back into the spiel here. The Dow Jones versus crypto. And generally, they do trade together, but I mean, I've been saying for a long time that I think that silver, gold, and crypto is going to vastly outperform the stock market. I've been saying I'm super bearish on the stock market. Macro. Now, it's going to recover. It's oversold in my opinion. It's going to recover. My God, what the it's going to I'm about to put you guys on something else here. Hold on. This is annoying. Sorry, guys. There we go. Love the shirt. Thanks, fam. You think we fill the gap for stocks and go up in a few days? Yes, I do think that the stock market is. I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth right now. I know that I'm about to do that, but two things can be true at one time. In the micro, I think the stock market is oversold and it's going to bounce. It's going to fill the CME gap to the upside. I think it's vastly oversold in the micro. In the macro, I think it's working on distribution. That is what I think. I think in the macro, super macro, I'm talking 2029 is when it's over. When the party is over, 2029. This is just the first little, kink in the armor, if you will. What do I even have? Like, what is this? This is basically distribution at the 1618 too, is what this is. Micro. All of this is distribution. But I think that this huge time horizon here, this is a massive macro distribution, but I don't think it plays out until 2029, personally. And I think that we're going to have a nice bounce out of this. This is just an overreaction. We're already getting a divergence in the stock market, actually. So the RSI, so I'm looking at the Dow Jones on the top, and then let's pull up Bitcoin on the bottom. We're already getting a divergence here. So the RSI on the Dow Jones, which, by the way, the Dow Jones is not like some, small market cap poo-poo coin. It went all the way to 13.4. Then you have a move to the upside, a move to the upside, and then you go way lower. So from the bottom of this to the bottom of where we're at right at this moment, 6.6% lower. That is massive in the stock market. I mean, that's a big deal. Like, make no mistake about it. But the RSI is higher. Again, this is a divergence. So that probably is your selling climax right here. And this is probably your secondary test. So yeah, I'm bullish on the stock market macro, I am not bullish on the stock market even a little bit. Micro and macro, I'm bullish on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I think the reason that it's holding its higher low structure while the Dow Jones got crushed is because crypto tends to do the moves much quicker because it trades 24/7. Because it trades 24/7, you kind of like, you know, like look at the Dow Jones from the same time frame of, you know, when is this? So this is January. It's just been from January until March. Crypto and Bitcoin was at a downtrend where the Dow Jones is not like that, you know? From January, it went up 6%. And it just now made a low that was lower than the January low. Just now. Yesterday. Where Bitcoin has already just been getting crushed since January. Crypto has already been getting crushed since January. And that's kind of what you see a lot of times is crypto and Bitcoin, because it trades 24/7, because it is so volatile. You do see the patterns and the moves take place much quicker than the stock market. And I think that the Bitcoin has already bottomed. And I think that the stock market probably, this is probably your selling climax. It probably has a little bit more work to do. That is my prediction. Why is this? What do you think about Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XLM, ETFs? It's something. I don't think it's you know, my God. This is so annoying. Streaming on my phone. Head over to YouTube. I'm live on YouTube. It's something. It's not everything. It is something though. I think it's a good thing like for cryptocurrency. I personally don't care about ETFs though. For your boy Ski's portfolio, I do not care 1 second about ETFs. I will not be buying one stinking ETF, not one. But if you're asking your boy Ski, like, how can this impact cryptocurrency? I think it can impact it in a positive way. Again, talking out of both sides of my mouth. I know it. You think we rally on stocks in a few days? Yes, I do think that. I think that the stock market is oversold. Micro, I think it's oversold. Macro, I think it's working on distribution. That's what I think. Bitcoin didn't go lower than 81K war tariff day on Wednesday. I think we're good. I think we're good too. I'm going to throw this out there. I don't necessarily think that this is what can happen or what will happen. But my theory is this is accumulation right here. We're working on accumulation. This is like a micro distribution, not macro, micro distribution. And this is a markdown. And then this is your micro accumulation. Okay. So I'm going to throw it out there so you guys don't freak out if it happens. I don't think it's going to happen, and I'm rooting that it does not happen. But in accumulation, you could get a spring like that. That could happen. So don't freak out. I don't think it's going to happen, and I'm rooting against it happening, but that is a realistic possibility. Where is accumulation? So here you go. So there's two accumulations that you get for textbook. This is the one I think we're working on. I think we're somewhere in this neck of the woods for Bitcoin. I think we're somewhere in phase C. and about to start phase D. And you even see it too. You start to get higher low, higher low, higher high in here too. I think we're already working on that. But we might get a spring. I think that we're probably past this. And the spring would be about 75K if it were to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm just throwing it out there preemptively. Just throwing it out there. Plus, we're about to get a death cross too, which, you know, it's bullish to me, not bearish. But I'm just throwing it out there preemptively. If it happens, it's not the end of the world. So there you go. I don't think, again, let me be clear. I don't think it's going to happen. But textbook, there's two ways of it happening. You get an LPS or you get a spring. Next stop down is 72K. Every stinking person is calling for that. No, we're not going to 72K. I can tell you. 76 other people commenting, my brother, my mother, my grandmother, my uncle, your wife's boyfriend, they're all calling for 72K. Every content creator is calling for 72K. Listen, I got news for you. 72K is not coming. Not now. We might get to 75. I don't even think that's going to happen. I think that 76 was the bottom. But every person on Twitter, every content creator on TikTok, every commenter on TikTok is calling for 72K. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's the same vibes as when Bitcoin was at 16K and everyone was calling for 10K or 12K. It's the same vibes when Bitcoin was at 20K, pulls back from 25K to 20K, everyone is calling for 12K. It's the same vibes when Bitcoin pulls back to 49K with the Japan fiasco and everyone was calling for 44K. It's not happening. How low the spring? The spring would be about 75. If it were to happen, I don't think it's going to happen. If we're lucky, we get that. But I don't think so. I think we're too far into this for it to happen, personally, Webb. When staking, I have a meeting with the Solidity developer tomorrow. He's making great progress on that. I imagine that's going to be available in the next month or so. I don't want to give like a hard date because, man, developing is like contractors. You never really know what time is going to be. Man, I don't want to tell a date, but I'm just going to say he's making good progress. And he originally quoted me for a month. I imagine it's probably a month from today, even though he's been working on it for a couple of weeks now. So there you go. Can you chart Bitcoin? Can you explain why Bitcoin will outpace the stock market? Why bearish on macro stock market, but not macro Bitcoin? Because I don't think that Bitcoin needs to follow the stock market. And I'm bearish on, because like, it's okay. Again, I'm going to talk out of two sides of my mouth real quick. If you guys will just allow me to do that, I'll explain. Okay. So I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth. I know. And I'm just this. Okay. All right. So here's the Dow Jones. Since Black Monday. It's essentially just been on a straight line up. And from the Black Monday, we are already past the 4236. Okay. So this is a bubble. Make no mistake about it. This is a bubble. Make no mistake about it. So that's the one side of my mouth. However, the only issue with this statement that I just said, again, this is where I'm going to talk out of the other side of my mouth, is when we had the 1929 bubble, or the Roaring 20s bubble, this was real money. We were measuring this in gold, right? Because the dollars were backed by gold. All right? So this is 1929 right here. the Roaring 20s. Like you can see. Actually, let me pull this up. Let's pull up 2 Dow Joneses here. So I got on the top, I have the Roaring 20s. Okay. So this is the Dow Jones from May, well, basically from 1900 through 1929. Okay. But let's zoom in a little bit and let's just focus on, we're going to focus on from 1919 through 1929. Okay. And then we're going to pull up present day. All right, listen, I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody. Okay, so this is from Black Monday right here, this dip right here, 1987 through today. And this is a bigger move to the upside. Okay, this is a bigger move to the upside. So 600%. Let me make sure. Let me verify that. I might be lying. Yes, this is. I thought I was true, and I am true. 500%. So this was a 500% move to the upside. This is how spoiled we are in crypto, by the way. This is a 5x, and we're like, this was the Roaring 20s. A 5x. Meanwhile, most people are like, man, only a 5x. Only a 5x. The Roaring 20s did a 5x. So, again, I'm going to bring this full circle. Just stay with me here. Stay with me. Let me cook. Let me cook. Stay with me. I'm going to bring it around town. Bring it around town. Then you do this and this and this and this and this and all right. So this was a 6.2x. This is a higher move than what the Roaring 20s did. So that's one side of my mouth. Again, I said, I admitted I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth. The only issue, though, this was measured in gold because the dollar was pegged to the gold standard at this time. This is not. Okay, so the 6x measured in gold is nowhere near that. Right? So the thing that we're measuring the stock market in itself is in a bubble. So it's hard to compare them. Okay? However, I do think that this is working on macro distribution, but I don't think that we're going to get a massive correction like we did in the 20s. I don't think so. Measured in dollars. Now, if you measure it in gold, I would say yes, absolutely. Measured in dollars, though, no. So this was a 90, what shitcoin is this? 90% correction. Okay, I don't think we're going to get that. I think we'll probably, if you measure it in dollars, I think we're probably going to come back to the C19 lows. Is what I think is going to happen, measured in dollars. But, again, this is going to take a decade to play out. Not really. 1929 is when this is going to play out. Excuse me. 2029 is when this is actually going to start to fall for real. So the peak was 1929, October. I think that's probably going to hold true again. But to bring it full circle, so let's measure this in gold real quick. Let's see if we can measure this in gold. It's not letting me do it in gold, which sucks. I thought I've done this before in gold. It's only giving me... Let me pull up... Let's do all real quick and see if it lets me change it like that. Nope. What is G? Yeah, it's just gold. Okay, it's not letting me. But if we measure in Bitcoin, like it's already it's already like just been plummeting. Like here's the Dow Jones measured in Bitcoin. I'm going to figure out how to measure this in gold. But I think that's the true way to measure the Dow Jones, or anything for that matter. Like I made a video on measuring real estate in gold, and this is the second most affordable that real estate's ever been since 1980. 1980 was the most affordable time measured in gold that real estate ever was. Today, right now, I know it's not presented that way, but it's just slightly less affordable than it was in 1980. Actually, it was way less affordable in 1990. The average home price was about 300 ounces of gold. Today, it's about 130 ounces of gold. In 1980, it was about 100. Can I get the right side? Algorand thoughts. I like Algorand. I would put it in the same category as H-bar. Hey, Alex, do you think crypto is gambling? Who is, bro? I'm not Alex. I'm not Alex, fam. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But I think it's going to depeg if it hasn't already. Bitcoin is not reliant upon, you know, global conditions. And look, so I want to show you too, like here's the 70s when it was the last hurrah of the Dow Jones being measured in gold, and you just see it just being flat. And then here's 82. Like 82, we were no longer measured in gold. And look at the Dow Jones since you stop measuring it in gold. This is insanity. Insanity. Right? Sorry, Minsky. Do you think crypto is gambling? It can be. Anything can be gambling. Stocks can be gambling. Real estate can be gambling. Silver can be gambling. Anything can be gambling if you're not approaching it like an investor. Do you use ChatGPT to calculate? No. Calculate what? I use ChatGPT to help me lowball people respectfully on Facebook Marketplace for my tractor. I did do that. I did do that. What's your number one value holding? Bitcoin and gold. Solnik. Closed ETH shorts from bull trap. We called right here. Yeah, I'm super bullish on crypto right now. And I'm like super bullish that the fact that, man, the stock market had one of the worst days that it's had since Black Monday. Here's Black Monday right here. No. Let's pull up. Let's examine the Dow Jones. Man. So I'm on the daily here. What was the worst day here? So this was a pretty bad day. None of these days. So let's see. This was a bad one. This was a 5% move. A 5% move. There was multiple 5% corrections. Okay, so this was 7% right here. In the height of C19, you got a 7% correction. What about Black Monday? That was the worst one that we had, right? Let's see. What was the percentage? Because this was a bad one. It was only 4%. So in 2 days, though, it was a pretty massive percentage. So this was actually one of the worst stock market days that we've had. So it was 10% in 2 days. one of the worst that we've had. And then Bitcoin is just like chilling, just marching along. Crypto is just chilling, marching along. Total 2, total 3, just chilling, marching along. And that goes to show you how oversold it is. Like, you get listen, guys, I want to, like, the severity of moving 7% in a day is insane. That doesn't happen in the Dow Jones. Like, that happens every day, every hour in crypto. I got it. But in the Dow Jones, that's a big deal. And it just shows you how oversold Bitcoin and cryptocurrency really is. Like, it made a higher low. It didn't even take out 81K. Question. What's your question? If you had no relationship, with Solnick, would you still feel the same about it? Yes. I don't have a relationship with Solnick. I put my own money into it. I didn't create Solnick. No one's paying me to talk about Solnick. Little Timmy. I advocate for Solnick because I believe in Solnick. What's your question, Rodriguez? Would you buy 2x ETH right now from a risk-reward standpoint? Do you think crypto will be the new financial system we use instead of the currency? Like, yes, absolutely, Mackie. Yes. Yes, because, like, here's the thing. Like, we're kind of seeing it with tariffs. You're definitely seeing it with the tariff war. This has been going on with the currency war for decades, but cryptocurrency is the true free market capitalism where the market truly decides. We don't have that. That doesn't exist. There are things that they call free market capitalism, but it's government-sponsored free market capitalism. We do not have real life. The market dictates the best outcome. That doesn't exist, but it does with crypto. Respectfully, Cowbell. I like honor. Would you say Dow? See, you don't get mad at the noobs. I'm here to learn. What are the noobs saying? The fear is real. Friends talking shit on Facebook, freaking out. Yes, that's a good sign. Do you still think ADA can go to 6? Yes, I do. Calculate the Dow in gold. That's what I should do. I should use ChatGPT to do that. There's a way to do it on TradingView. I just forgot how to do it. That's all I need to know. Is it time to long? I'm putting way more longs than I am shorts. I've had a couple of shorts, but I'm definitely longing way more than I'm shorting. Have you heard earnest payment safe is working with Swift? No, I don't care. My price prediction on XRP has nothing to do with that. My price prediction for XRP is $5 low case, $8 medium case, bull case is $12. If they add the Swift system, my low, medium, high is 5, 8, and 12. If they don't add the Swift system, my low, medium, high is 5, 8, and 12. Solnick is not available on Coinbase. Yes. Would you like to buy it before or after everyone buys it? Solnick will be available on Coinbase after $250 million market cap. It says, bro was my Uber driver. I bet I was. Could be. I bet I was. That's what I was doing for many years. Is it time to long? Do you think alts will 3x by June? I think that's I don't know by June, but my prediction is a 50% move on the total 3, which is everything that's not Bitcoin and Ethereum, before the end of May. Low, medium, high for Cardano. I'll give you 4. How about that? I'm going to give you low, medium, high, and then high, high. 2468. Opinion on ETH dot buying TikTok. I don't know. 4 to 5 trillion total market cap easy. I think so. We talked about 3.6 before June. I think that that's very realistic. Is it realistic for Crow to hit $1? I think 50 to 69 cents is the most probable, but I don't think it's out of the question for Crow to hit $1. Do you think with the full moon next week that the market will drop or have hit the bottom? I think we're going to make a higher low. Alex called 30K by the end of the year. Edward, I strongly disagree. I don't think it's mathematically possible. There's way more institutions. There's half of the inflation. Like, let's just think about, and listen, Alex is my friend. I got a lot of respect for Alex. But respectfully, strongly, I disagree. Strongly. I would love for him to be right, by the way. I would love for, like, I just want you guys to think about Japan and, like, the backs of, you know, real recession. People thought that this was really going to start a recession. Could not get us below 50K. Germany and Mt. Gox could not get us below 50K. The last time that we were at 30K, let me pull up my sell the news you will lose chart here. The last time we were at 30K was the war in Israel. Like, off of the back of FTX going to zero, off of the back of Silicon Valley Bank going to zero, we barely could get below 30K, and inflation on Bitcoin was double. That's a big, important component to this. Price equals supply plus demand. Inflation on Bitcoin was double back then, and it was barely below 30K. A proper recession, right? I know they changed the definition as what a recession was. A proper recession. We were in a proper recession in here. The war in Israel was here. The war in Ukraine was here. Silicon Valley Bank went to zero. FTX went to zero. That was the last time we were at 30K. The last time we were below 30K, the event was the war in Israel, and people were calling it World War III. And inflation was double. And institutions were not buying Bitcoin. There was no Bitcoin ETF. There was no spot Bitcoin ETF. BlackRock was not buying Bitcoin. Fidelity was not buying Bitcoin. Vanguard was not buying Bitcoin. All these institutions were not buying Bitcoin. You could not put Bitcoin in your 401k. Yeah, I think that it's just mathematically, like, we barely got below 30K with none of those things happening, plus inflation was double. I would love to be face-meltingly wrong. I will sell my truck. I will sell my car. I will sell all of my gold, all of my silver. I will sell my house. I'm going to do that anyways. I'm going to sell everything if that happens. And I'll be buying more crypto. I'll be buying more crypto. Cool. I guess no one cares about doing research on what they... I don't care about narratives. I care about TA. Show me the charts. I'll tell you the news. You're not going to get an advantage on narratives. I know that. The apex predators run the market. That's what I know. So I'm not going to read news articles and try to get an advantage over them, because I'm not. And what if it happens? I just said it. Listen, I'm selling my truck. I'm selling my car. I'm selling all of my silver. I just made a video unboxing 200 ounces of silver. I'm going to sell all this if that happens. I have lots of gold. I have lots of silver. I'll be selling all of that. I have rental properties. I'll be selling that too. So there you go. That's what I'll do if I'm face meltingly wrong and Alex is right. But I just don't think it's mathematically possible. And I think that Bitcoin's already bottomed. That is my prediction, that 76K was the structural bottom. Metals move meant for preserving wealth, not creating. Exactly. That's why I buy Bitcoin, or that's why I buy gold and silver, to preserve wealth. That's correct. That's why I buy gold and silver every single week, to preserve. I don't buy it to invest. So here's my dry powder. If it happens, I got dry powder ready to go. You think I'm playing, bro? I will go right down to the silver shop and say, "Give me some Bitcoin." This is going in my safe though after tonight. This just came in here. This just came in the mail. Render $10 to $20. Says you got more dry powder than that. I do have more dry powder than that. You're right. What wallet do you use? I use a Ledger. Dogecoin $1 to $2. ICP. I like ICP a lot right here. Both micro and macro. I think at a minimum ICP gets $30 minimum. But there's a realistic chance that ICP gets above $100. I just ordered Tangent Ring for fun. I want to try it. All wallets will work. Like, I'm not in this camp of like, oh, this wallet's awesome, this wallet sucks. They will all work if you do proper management of security procedures. Yeah, there you go. He says. There you go. Yeah, listen, guys. I like Alex is my friend. I could not disagree more. As far of an opposition as you can be on that is where I'm at. However, guess what? I'm ready if it happens. I'm ready. Do you think Filecoin is a good project? It's a good project, yes. Is it a good investment? No. Good project and good investment are not the same. He'll be Uber. Just get more in the market. Coming into 100K in 6 months. What time do you start your lives on YouTube? I'll put out my schedule on Twitter for the coming week tomorrow. So I sit down with my wife every Sunday and we do a meeting and we'll talk about, like, you know, I got kids that are in baseball and I have kids that do jiu-jitsu competitions, and there's just, you know, just life. So I schedule my live streams around that. So I'll put out my live stream schedule. I think I was late twice this week. The goal is going to be one time or less, or I'll do a giveaway. How about that? Next week, one time or less, or I'll do a giveaway next week. So Sunday, I'll put it out on Twitter and I'll put it out on Telegram. Most likely, it's going to be something similar to what we had this week, which was, here was the schedule. It'll probably be something in the neighborhood of this schedule. Here's a rough schedule for you. So Sunday was 5 to 7 Central. Monday was 5 to 7. Tuesday was 4 to 6 p.m. Wednesday was 3:30 to 5 p.m. Central Time. Thursday was 4 to 6 Central. Friday was 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. with Alex. This will be the same for sure. And then Saturday was 5 to 7. I was late today, obviously. So there you go. That is going to be the rough schedule. But I will let you guys know. I'll put it out in the Telegram. I'll put it out on Instagram, and I'll put it on TikTok story, and I'll put it on Twitter tomorrow after I have my meeting with my wife. LCX prediction, $1 to $2. I never took profit on XRP healthcare, but higher low looking nice. Appreciate you, bro. Thoughts on the new Chainlink payment abstraction? I mean, that's cool. I like Chainlink a lot. Chainlink is in my kids' portfolio. I put a few Bitcoins in my safe today. That's a expensive paperweight, Ski. When you thinking run up before summer? By the end of May? ICP or VeChain? Which play is better for alt season? Man, that's a shooter's preference, J.O. Whatever you personally have higher convictions in, I like them both. I'd probably, if you like force me to it, I'd probably pick VeChain, but man, both of those I think are solid ROI plays and solid plot projects. Protect all your gold and silver. Can you pull and give TA on Near Protocol? Your insight is greatly appreciated. I got you. Ski, what was your Bitcoin low bear market, 50 to 60? Yes. Okay, so let me clarify. That's right. So I did say 60 to 70, and I did say 50. So let's do it like this. Let's look at the last bear market, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so when we look at the last bear market, we didn't spend much time in the teens. So let me show you exactly how much time we spent in the teens. So this is 16,500. We spent about 60 days at that price. Okay. The actual bottom was 15,500. This is the structural bottom though, right in here. So this is about 20K. We spent a lot of time at 20K. And I would say that was the real bottom. You see what I'm saying? We were there for a year. So I think 60 to 70K is going to be the structural bottom. And we might wick into the 50s. If that makes sense. In the actual proper bear market. Also, too, like if, let's say I'm just dead wrong. I have the biggest misread ever. We're here. One thing I know, in order to have a violent bear market, guess what you need to have? You need to have a violent bull market. We didn't have that. We don't have the oomph to bring us to 30K. To go to 30K, we would have to have went to like 500K. Are you ready to call the bull run off? Why would I, Mike? We haven't went below. We've been at the same range for how many days now? We're making... The Dow Jones dropped 7% and Bitcoin made a higher low. Why would I call it the bull market off? Why would I do that? That's just stupid. Bitcoin's been at the same price range for 38 days. It has not went lower than 78K, 76K for 38 days. Why would I do that? If anything, the longer we range here, guess what I get? More and more conviction that this is our bottom. Can't find Ski's Farm on YouTube. It's at Ski's Farm. Here, I'll give you the handle. That should be the handle. Let me just give you the channel. Let's see. I think that, yeah. So here it is right here. All right, I'll just give you the link. Here's my farm channel. We hit 100. We hit 100 subscribers on that channel. Whoopsies. Let me give this to you. So I will be making a video about the tractor and me changing the clutch on that. $6 to $8 is my price prediction. Polkadot thoughts. I think it's a decent play. There is zero used for XRP. It's all just one guessing game. TA is dead and has been. According to who? People that don't know how to do TA? I don't know, bro. Over the last 4 years, I've had 2 misreads, and I've called the bottom on the day and about 10 local bottoms along the way. I've called multiple breakouts. TA is dead for who? People who don't know how to do TA? Yeah. People who had no business trying to convince people that they know how to do TA? I would agree. TA is dead for those people. TA is dead for people who don't know how to do TA. I saw videos, it's like, TA is just astrology for men. It's like, bro, just say you don't know how to read charts and move on. It ain't that deep. Just say, I don't know how to read charts, and I hope is my strategy, and move on. It ain't that deep, bro. It's not that deep, bro. Can you talk more about Filecoin? No. I'm not a fan of Filecoin at all. Way too much inflation. I'm too deep into Ethereum. Edward said retracted a message. Dang, bro, I was about to read it. I'm in. Do you still believe Rose can retrace? Yes, I do. Thanks. I've subscribed to the channel. Thanks, Redemption. Appreciate you. Can near reach $20? Bro, if TA was on point, everyone would have seen. People don't understand TA, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. TA is not drawing lines. That's not TA. That's not TA. TA is not moving averages or indicators. That's not TA either. TA is Wyckoff. TA is looking at past structures. People don't do that. There's very few people that actually do that. Here are the people, not me, that I respect their TA. Now, I don't necessarily always agree with them, but I respect their TA. End of list. I'm gonna give you 2 names. And I'm not friends with them. I know 2 people that I respect their TA outside of me. End of list. Okay? I know a lot of people who do TA. I know 2 people that I respect their TA. If they say something, I will listen. Waters above, blockchain backer. End of list. That's it. End of list. So people drawing lines, that's not TA. People looking at indicators, that's not TA. If you see squiggly line, that's not TA. You see people looking at the moving averages, that's not TA. That's reading indicators. That's a difference. That's the point I'm trying to make. Thanks, Ski. You nailed it. Okay. I'm with you then. If you're saying that TA is dead as far as that right there, I'm with you. Those people got exposed. Waters above. Yeah, waters above, super woo-woo. But I respect his TA. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with his TA all the time. But I agree that he got there on his own and he's not being influenced. The same thing with blockchain backer. Same thing. Like, I don't always agree with blockchain's analysis. But that's it. That's the end of the list. Those are the only people that I respect their TA. It's like, this is a real analyst right here. The Web, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate your TA, you savage. Edward, thanks for the $1.99 donation, brother. Hoo yeah, you savages.
Put the cream
rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Is it possible we dipped into the bear market territories? I don't think so. I made a video, 4 reasons the bear market is not here. We have 0 of 4. Check that video out. Spoiler alert. 4 things are needed. We have 0. Not 1, not some, not a little bit. 0. Let me say it again. 4 things are needed to start a bear market. We don't have 1, we don't have some, we don't have a lot. We have 0. Thank you for the goat, the chili, the lightning, you savage. Can GRT get to $2? Probably not. Too much inflation. D, thanks for subscribing, bro. You savage. How do you remove your emotions when selling? I always think it could go up more. Put in limit orders. That's exactly what I did with XRP. And then I went ahead and sold a little bit more too. I had a limit order, $3.33. Thank you. Come again. See you later. Didn't even think about it. I'll be honest with you. I will be 100% with you. I felt the pressure for real as an XRP holder of people wanting me to move the goalpost on XRP at $3.33. Guess what? That was the top. It got to like $3.40. But TBF, you compared Wyckoff chart, which a few squiggly lines to the Bitcoin chart. That's cap, bro. Wyckoff is 100 years old and it still works to this day. I'm drawing a squiggly line to show you what it is. That's not what Wyckoff is. Wyckoff is how I call the bottom. I'm using William Watson bottom signal to view trading. He sells it, marks the local bottom. Yeah, listen. I'm not going to... I told you my list of creators who I respect their TA. That's all I have to say about that. I would say that William Watson is a great fundamental analyzer of the market. Deep diving on technology and macroeconomics. I think he's great at that. I gave you my list of people whose TA I respect. Any chance of seeing a bit of upside before sell in May? Absolutely. Like, I think the total 3 is going to do a 50% move between now and the end of May. Edward, thanks for the lightning, bro. You savage. It's only prediction by May. I mean, by May, we're going to have the partnership be unveiled. It'd be the next leg higher. Which, you know, could be north of 30 million, 40 million. We'll see. Why ICP keeps going lower? It was a value of $9 too. ICP performed well. Every yin, there's a yang. Limit orders are my best friend. Limit orders are my best friend too. Does your TA give? Does my TA give what? I'm on 2 platforms, bro. I appreciate you and your support, Edward. What do you think ETH will get up to when the total 3 does 50% move up? 3,300. Does your TA say bull into 2026? It's plausible. Listen, time is not my area of specialty by any stretch of the imagination. Structure is, not time. I'll just be honest with everybody. Time is not my specialty. But I think that it's definitely plausible that we rock and roll into 2026. How long did it take you to become great at TA? Probably like 5 years. I would say after a year, I was like, I definitely started to separate from like regular people or people like had no idea what I'm talking about. A couple of years, I started to separate from other, TA people, so to speak. I'd say after about 5 years is when I really started to master my craft. Tim, thanks for the $5 donation. More tractor money, you savage.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
Tim, I just ordered the clutch for that tractor. So it's in the mail. It's supposed to be here April 9th, so I'm going to be filming that. I'm going to be replacing that clutch if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff. Did we hit a bottom yet? I think so. I think 76K was the bottom structurally. We might wick to 75 on a spring, but the structural bottom is already in. Thoughts on Cardano? I think Cardano is a really good play, short-term and long-term. Only 33 on ETH next leg up. Why so low? That's just a micro leg, bro. I think over the course of the bull run, it's going to go to 7K. Tim coming in clutch. When do you think has better tokenomics for layer 1, Sui or Aptos? I can look that up. I don't know the answer to that question. Is the bottom in for ICP and Rose? Structural bottom, I think so. Let's look that up. I don't know. So I know Sui's is about 5x or something like that. Let's look up Aptos. I want to say Aptos has better tokenomics. I don't know, though. Let me see. I think Aptos has better tokenomics. Yes, Aptos has way better tokenomics. So this is about a double for Aptos. It's not amazing, but it's right on the threshold of like, it did a double. So that's, that's less. It did less than a double, which is my maximum threshold that I'm willing to accept is a double. But when we look at Sui, like Sui has way worse tokenomics for sure than Aptos. So Sui's is about 3x. So to answer your question, it's Aptos has better tokenomics. ETH literally came from 4,000 in 2024, and you think the next leg up is only 3,300? Bro, that's the micro leg. My macro leg is 7,200. Yes, macro is 7,200. The micro next leg for ETH, which could happen in like 30 days. I think, I'm not predicting 30 days it's going to do this, but like that's how it's going to move. It's going to be quick. I think it could go to 3,300. So that's a micro move versus a macro move. Make sense? When ICB hits $100, I'm buying you a new tractor. Okay, that's a bet. My favorite tractor is a 4-wheel drive, 40 plus horsepower with a front end loader. Subski, we looking good this weekend. Crypto did well compared to the stocks. That's basically all we've been talking about the entire live stream. And to me, it's even more of a sign that the bottom is in. Like a 7% move in Dow Jones. That's what it pulled back. Like that, we're spoiled in crypto. This happens all the time. 7% moves happen every single day, every single hour. That doesn't happen in the Dow Jones. In fact, Black Monday's crash was like 5%. Now it did 10% in 2 days, but it was 5% in 1 day. So 7%, it doesn't sound like a big deal for us in crypto, but that's a massive deal. And while the Dow Jones was down 7% in a day. Bitcoin is making higher lows. Insanity. So it gives me very much encouragement that, hey, I think that the structural bottom is in for Bitcoin. $6 trillion in 2 crypto markets wiped. What are you saying? Is it likely ETH goes up only to the next 4 or 5 months or so? I don't think so. I think it goes up into November. I think it peaks in November. Is what I think. But listen, I don't care. I don't care about the time. I will let the market lead me on that. The only difference is, listen. Okay, let me hold my thoughts on that. I won't be changing my mind I'm very slow moving. I don't necessarily want to be first with my predictions. I move very slow. Stock market lost 6 trillion to crypto markets. Yeah, no, insane. I mean, I'm sure you've heard me say it, Tyler. Like, I am not bullish. I have not been bullish on the stock market at all. I've made many videos saying that I think that gold, silver, and crypto is going to outperform the stock market over the next 10 years. I was about to say that I am a slow mover. Like, I'm very stoic in the way that I analyze the market. I don't get moved by, sometimes this will burn me. I'm slow moving. This saves me and it burns me. But, this is how I don't freak out when things are scary. So I'm not going to change my mind, every 45 minutes or anything like that. But I will let the market lead me on a macro time frame. We are in the financial switch right now. I think I literally made a crypto title like that. You just earned my follow, bro. I appreciate that, Josh. I mean, you could go look at my videos, man. I've been making videos publicly with predictions since 2022, or even before that. But I was bullish in 2022 publicly. I was bullish in 2023. I've called lots of bottoms publicly. I've called lots of tops publicly. I've had 2 major misreads, which I came out publicly and I said, hey, I got this wrong. But I move very slow, and I'm not emotional about this. And, people who have followed me for a long time could attest that when things are scary, I am not freaking out. I do not flinch. Do you know why SPY lost more than crypto on Friday? Because, I've been saying it for months. I am not bullish on the stock market. The stock market to me is working on macro distribution. I think it takes until 2029 to actually play out. But, and also, there's 2 reasons for this. One reason is what I just said, but the other reason, and this is probably more why so, crypto was way oversold. Like, extremely oversold. The stock market was not. So from January's peak, the stock market only just now made a new low. Only just now made a new low, where we know from January till now, Bitcoin has been down 30%. It's been at a skid. And so there's a couple of reasons for this. Crypto is way more volatile. And crypto trades 24/7s. 24/7, not plural, 24/7. So you see the moves happen more quickly in crypto. And I think the move that the Dow Jones is experiencing right now, Bitcoin already experienced it. Does that make sense? So I've been saying publicly, I think the bottom, structural bottom, we might wick into 75 for a spring, but the structural bottom for Bitcoin is in. The structural bottom for crypto is in. How far is your farm from Ohio State University? I think a couple of hours. I think like 2 hours. What is the best way for me to convince my family members to invest in crypto? Even Jesus could not do miracles in his hometown. When Jesus went back to his hometown, they're like, that's Joseph's son. They didn't think he was the Messiah. They didn't think he was a prophet, whatever you believe. They didn't think he was a savior. So he couldn't do any miracles in his hometown. If Jesus cannot convince his own people, how are you going to? You're not. They will ask you when it's at the top. That's when they're going to ask you. When they ask you, like, hey, what's that thing, Bitcoin, you were telling me about? They're going to tell you that at the top. But what you can tell them, you can give them the Bitcoin Standard. It's a free audiobook on YouTube. Tell them to read this. And then just go on about your day. Like, I wouldn't waste your energy with it, to be honest with you. If they're curious, like, you need to understand the difference, right? Okay, so I deal with this a lot. I deal with this a lot with, like, just people in the chat. But there's a difference between someone who is skeptical but curious, right? They have a genuine curiosity of, like, how does this work? What is this about? Maybe they are skeptical. Maybe they don't get it. Maybe they don't understand. That's one thing. And then just someone being a devil's advocate, advocating for the devil. Like, you don't need to advocate for the devil. If someone is advocating for the devil, don't waste your energy on it. If someone is genuinely curious, okay, then give them the Bitcoin Standard and tell them to get back with you. Do you believe leverage Bitcoin ETFs? Me personally, your boy Ski, no, I don't do that. Thoughts on AVAX? I like AVAX. What you're thinking on Arrow? Too much inflation for me. I don't like it personally. Do you think the bottom is in on Jasmy? The structural bottom, yes. Yeah, it's draining my energy, to be honest. Don't give them your energy. Listen, you got to protect your energy. You got to protect your prana. That is your life force. Don't just give it away. This is a big... Listen, here's some real advice that I can give you. I can't give you financial advice, but I can tell you this. Protect your energy like it's your baby. Do not give your energy away to people who don't deserve it. Sometimes it's your family. Most of the time it's your family. Protect your energy. Do not give your prana away to people who do not deserve it. That is your life force. This is my mantra. This is a personal mantra of me. Feel free to steal it. I cannot be anything to anyone if I am nothing to myself. If I give everything of me away and I have nothing left to fill my own cup, I have nothing to give. And I want to give a lot to a lot of people. But if I am nothing to myself, I cannot be anything for anybody. So I view it like a farmer. I'll throw seeds, and if the soil is good, it'll take. If the soil's rocky, it ain't no good. But that's not me. I'm just going to throw seeds. I'm just going to throw seeds. If their soil's good, it's going to take. If their soil's rocky, a bird will eat it. Jasby prediction, 10, 11, 12 cents. Low, medium, high. Thoughts on Link? I like Link a lot. Link is in my kids' portfolio, which means I believe in it now and in 10 years. I think the market will be mid until Jerome and Trump get on the same page. Rate cuts typically is not what you think it is. Would you agree Link being number one holding after Bitcoin? It's not mine, but it's top 10. I can't wait until my family start using crypto every day. It'll happen. I'm going to rub it in your face. Don't even save your prana, bro. Save your energy. It's not even worth it. You know what the best revenge is? Living a good life. Living a good life is the best revenge. Trust me. Trust me. Listen, you guys want to know a story? You want me to tell you a story? You want me to tell you a story? I'll tell you a story. I haven't really talked about this very much. But I think enough time has passed where it's okay. Let me get some water because I'm thirsty. Okay. So, in 2022, I was in the Army. Okay. And I have a full career. Okay. All the Boy Scout badges you can get, I got them. I deployed 4 different times, 3 different countries. I fought in 3 different wars. I've been to airborne school. I've been to SEER school. I've been to air assault school. All the Boy Scout badges, I got them. I did it all. Anything that you did, you can possibly do in the military, I did it. Whenever I was asked to jump, I said how high. I did it all. I miss birthdays. I miss holidays. I miss anniversaries. I miss Thanksgivings. I miss Christmases. I went through selection for special operations. All the Boy Scout badges, I got them. Okay? In 2022, obviously was like COVID, right? 2020, 2022 was COVID. All right? And I was, I don't know if I can even say it. I was a refusal. I was one of the refusals. And I had a lot of really great leaders when I was in the military, but my last one was my worst one. My last one was my worst one. Okay, I'm just going to keep it a buck. He was not a good leader. He was very emotional. He was not stoic. I don't even care if someone is an a-hole. If they're a consistent a-hole, I'm rocking with you. I don't care if someone's a micromanager leader, as long as they're consistent and I know what to expect, I'm rocking with you. He was not consistent. He did not practice what he preached. He was not a good leader in any way, shape, or fashion. And I was a refusal. Okay, I did not get the thing during COVID, and it wasn't even because of what I believed necessarily. I don't know what you believe. I don't care. But I was a refusal. I was a COVID refusal. I don't know what I can say without Big Brother. I was a refusal. Okay, I did not get the thing. I didn't get it, all right? And I was in the military at the time. So I knew in 2020 what was going to happen. I'm just like this. How I am with the markets is how I am with life. I can see things, and I knew that they were going to create a thing that was going to be experimental, and they were going to force us to take it. I knew this March of 2020. I was already talking about it, okay? And so what I did was the research. I did my homework. What is the maximum punishment that they can give me? I didn't even make a decision that I was going to or not. I just wanted to know, what is the consequences either way I go. I wanted to make an informed decision. So I looked up anthrax. What happened to when they first came out with anthrax, and what were the consequences for those service members who refused? And I looked it up, and it was 45 and 45 and a general discharge. That was the worst consequence, which means 45 days of half pay, 45 days of extra duty, and a general discharge, which could have been upgraded at a later time. And I was like, let's run it. That's not even what happened, actually. But I was like, if that's my worst case scenario, okay, I'm all right with that if push comes to shove. Okay, but that's not what happened. And I knew from the very beginning, if there was an EUA, the only person who had the authority to mandate it was the president. At the time was Joe Biden. I knew from day one, the only person who has the authority to tell me I have to do this is Joe Biden. I knew it from day one because I did my homework. And they lied, and they kept lying, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was neutral on the matter. I just wanted to be informed. I did not care one way or the other. I still don't to this day. But I was neutral, and because they kept lying, it pushed me over the edge. They kept lying. So they'd be like, the commander just said, you got to go get it or you can't go on leave. I'm like, BS. Bullshit he did. He does not have the authority. But every time they would do that, they would trick 5 or 10 people, and then they would go get it. The social pressure was crazy. And then they kept doing that. And then they'd be like, the base commander just said, you got to go get it. You can't go on leave. You can't do blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bullshit he did. The president is the only person who has the authority. And then they said the battalion commander, and then they said the brigade commander, and then they said the Secretary of State just mandated you must get it or you're getting an Article 15. I'm like, bullshit he did. The president is the only one who has the authority. I kept saying that. The more that they lied, the more that I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not. You guys pushed me in a corner, and at this point, it's just principle. That's what it was for me. It was principle. I was like, you guys are lying, and I'm not going to do it just because I feel the pressure to do it. Okay? The point of this story is I refused all the way to the end, and I did not self-sabotage. So how they were getting my peers is they were all self-sabotaging. Not all of them, but many people, many soldiers, it was a lot of pressure. It was like the social pressure, the ostracization, the you had a target. It was a lot of pressure. And a lot of them, they got DUIs, they smoked weed, they got in trouble, and they self-sabotaged, and then there's like, boom, bounce them out. But I knew what they were doing was illegal, immoral, and unethical, and you do not have to follow any of those orders. Long story short, I had a platoon sergeant who had it out for me. Me and him did not get along. I did not have respect for him. And to my face, he was like, oh yeah, we're going to blah, blah, blah. But behind my back, he was like scheming with First Sergeant to get me chaptered out. And I had a board because I had so much time in service, they could not just chapter me out. I had to have a board with the First Sergeant, a Sergeant Major, a Commander, and a Major. So I had a board with all these high rankings to see, because after you have so much time in service, you cannot just get chaptered out. So I had to have a board to see whether they were going to chapter me out or if I was going to finish my enlistment, basically. And I had my board, and he testified against me at my board. but he had information that I needed to help present to me, and he did not tell me that he was going to be testifying against me in my board. And I won my board, and I was successful, and I won. And I could have re-enlisted if I wanted to. And then it came out that what they did, I was correct. Everything that they were doing was illegal. Right? All these things. There's a huge lawsuit right now. And they brought everybody back, right? But I won my board, even though he testified against me. And guess what? Guess what? I'm still friends with him on Facebook. You know why? Because you're going to watch me succeed. You're going to watch me win. The best revenge is living a good life. And so he testified against me. And guess what? I didn't say nothing to him. And I'm still friends with him on Facebook. You know why? Because you're going to watch me succeed. You're going to watch me win. And so there you go. I stood up. I took a stand. I stood up for what was right, and I won. And I went through hell to pay for it. For me, it was about doing what was right. For me, it was about standing up for the lower enlisted who could not do it. Because I was already in a financial situation where it's like, whatever, man. I don't need that little $2,000 a month. Take it. Run it. I'm not going to make decisions based off of money. I didn't then. I didn't with Solnick, and I'm not ever gonna. And so the point of the story is, I could just rub it in this dude's face, but I'm not gonna, because the best revenge is living a good life. I wouldn't have taken it either. There was a lot of people that said that in the beginning. I had a lot of friends that were like, man, I wish I would have done it. How you did it. I was a legend by the time I left. They're like, man, I wish I would have done it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, don't worry. You'll have an opportunity to stand up for what's right. You'll have more opportunities. But let me be the example of like what happens when you don't self-sabotage, when you stick up for what's right and you stick to your guns and you don't make decisions based off of money. By the time it was done, I was the only person left in the 160th who did not take it and was still in the military and did not get chaptered out. I was the only one left by the time it was all said and done. And I could have re-enlisted and I could have stayed in the Army if I wanted to. But I didn't have any desire for that. And I got an honorable discharge. And I did my full term. And that was the end of it for me. The point is, don't join the military. Literally. That's the point. That's okay. No, it was a good decision for me. I stayed in for too long. But that's okay. I learned a lot. I met a lot of cool people. There was a lot of really great leaders, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself. I did the most difficult path possible in the military. I went through special operations selection. I went to SEER school, airborne school, air assault. I did it all. All the Boy Scout badges, I got them. 4 deployments, 3 different countries, 3 different wars. I got them. I did it all. But I was done. I was over. It was over with for me, and it was no longer a benefit to me at all. I was a benefit to the military. They were not a benefit to me. How many years were you in? 10 years. And I went through stages. When I first joined the military, the military was a benefit to me. I was not a benefit to the military. Then in the middle of my career, I was a benefit to the military and they were a benefit to me. And at the end of my career, I was a benefit to the military. They were not a benefit to me. So I went through all stages of that. All right, guys. Story time is over. My phone's about to die. So I think this is a good place to leave it off with. And I'll leave with this. The point of this story. The point of all these lessons are what? Sound. Do we not have sound on TikTok? No, we're good, bro. The point of these lessons are stand up for what's right, do what's right, don't make decisions based off of money. And protect your energy, protect your prana, do not give it away. And the best revenge is to live a good life. All right, guys, that is going to be it for this time. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will be putting out my schedule for this week tomorrow. I'll put it out everywhere. But I will be live I'll be live 6 or 7 days next week, and I'll put those schedules out then. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Peace, love, prosperity. God first. God bless. I'm out.
Damn hustling.